Hello friends and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we're going to do what's in bloom tour because here we are, kind of end of April, North Carolina zone 8A, and it is a great time to be a gardener here in the South because everything is still fresh. It has not been beaten down by the heat and humidity of the summer, and things are just emerging, especially our shrubs, the perennials, the roses. Oh my gosh. So hopefully there is some rain in the area. So hopefully we're going to beat the rain, but we're going to go up here at the chicken coop, start here. I'm going to try to stay very focused because if you know me, I can get sidetracked on something. We're focusing on what is in bloom right now. So again, up here at the chicken coop, I did a little hanging basket. I'm not sure that I actually love the combination, but that's all right. What I do love, this is the one of the new introductions for 2026 from Proven Winners, and it is an absolutely a beautiful plant. The name specifically escapes me. We'll throw up the tag so you can see it, but the blooms on it are massive. I've never grown this before. There have been other varieties from Proven Winners, but this is a new one, and it is just lovely. The peonies are starting to bloom. I don't have names on all of them, y'all. Basically, what you need to learn is if you see a peony and you love it, grab it. There's so many different peonies out there. This would be the perfect time to go ahead and cut this and put it in a vase in the house. Love that. Now, sweet little red rose. We got this red rose. It is a standard last year at the nursery. And when we got it, it wasn't in the best shape. So I love this rose, but I also don't love this rose. I do not know the specific variety of it. It is a non-branded rose. It is gorgeous, right? Look at those beautiful, nice, petite, double red flowers. They don't have a fragrance on it. So this is what I love about it because from a distance, it is stunning, but already it is getting black spot, right? And this is what the problem was last year, is that it was absolutely covered in black spot. Now my other roses are doing great. They're doing wonderful. No black spot, no issues whatsoever. So for whatever reason, this variety seems to be susceptible to that, and to have it already this early on is kind of a bummer, but look at the blooms. Oh my gosh. It is so stinking cute. Absolutely love it in this little pot, and it does great. Full sun, loves life. The ginger wine 9 bark. We just planted this, I don't know, maybe a month ago. Look at her. She is in bloom. Love the color on this. Got that gorgeous white flower with a little bit of a hint of pink. So that ginger wine 9 bark so far is acclimating and adjusting to her new home really, really well. And so that is very exciting. Let's see. Okay. I have some salvias, Salvia Greggii. Customer a couple years ago turned me on to these, and she was like, you need to get the Salvia Greggii. There's all these cultivars within that, different varieties. This one is the Royal Bumble. Hang on, I'm gonna try to read my tag. Yeah, Royal Bumble. Look at that red color, y'all. Of course, your hummingbirds love this. Your pollinators love this. I actually have 3 different ones here. So of course, obviously beautiful red. And then behind us, closer to the chicken coop, we have another one that is a lovely like purple blue. Let's see if I can find the tag on this. Look at that. So they have that nice kind of that mounded wispy habit to them. They bloom on new growth. This is Mez Azure. And so they bloom on new growth, so you can prune them back and they get these gorgeous flowers. Isn't that lovely? Just beautiful. And then let's see, of course, give you a quick little update on the chicken coop. Our plantings here, everybody is doing really well. Look how much the rose is growing. Isn't that great? I've had to kind of attach her a couple of times. The girls have started to peck at the leaves a little bit. It's fine. They're not going to hurt it. They can only get just a couple little clips of it, so that is not a problem. And then of course here it is from the front. Let me show you. They're hanging in there, right? So the first couple of weeks are always the roughest. The girls are waiting for their treats. They haven't had their treats this morning, and so they're following me. Here is the third salvia Greggii that I have, and this is a beautiful like salmon color. I'm trying to read tangerine. Real original. Okay, so tangerine, doing great. Beautiful tangerine color on it. But you can see that kind of habit. Really loose and wispy. Very easy to take care of. And then perennial geraniums. I want to say this is New Hampshire purple. I could be wrong on that. I know it's not Roseanne, but I love this one because it has such a deeper purple to it. We were growing this at the nursery a couple of years ago. Haven't been able to get any more since for us to grow, but I love this one for those deep, deep purples. And of course, your perennial geraniums, they tend to be low and wide. And bloom on new growth, super simple. Give it a little shape of a haircut, and then there you go. Easy peasy on that. Now, speaking earlier, we were talking about roses and roses blooming. So I have got up here in the Aquapot Light insert, I have got the Rise Up Ember Rays from Proven Winners. Oh, she's beautiful, y'all. There's only one bloom on her right now. I've got a couple more buds. Look, though, at that. Isn't it beautiful? Like, she just opened up in the last, really the last day, but has that really gorgeous, like, yellow throat, what kind of a corally kind of color to it. She really does try to change colors. Can you see the bud? The bud almost looks like it's a red, like a deep, deep orange, reddish color. So yes, if you get a Rise Up Ember Rays, it is beautiful. Love this one so much. All right, now speaking about roses, let's go get some more roses because they are blooming. They smell divine. I can't wait to share them with you along with a bunch of other stuff. Baptisias, oh, baptisias are blooming as well. Oh, and so I got some penstemons. Oh, love it. Let's go on a hunt. All right, so here we are walking down from the chicken coop down to the cottage garden. Oh, y'all. So I haven't put any annuals in the cottage garden yet. So what is blooming is going to be those shrubs and the perennials. Where to start? Where to start? Okay, first, hello, Princess Anne. Princess Anne Rose from David Austin. I got it as a standard. It came as a standard, and y'all, oh my word. Like, when I say she is full, she is full. Look at those massive, massive blooms on it. It smells divine. My mama's name is Anne. So when I saw Princess Anne and then she was in a standard, I was like, oh, yes, please and thank you. I have to have it. Of course, she is center stage here in the cottage garden. As soon as you pull up, you see it. And she is phenomenal. And she still has tons and tons of buds on her. So Princess Anne Rose from David Austin, oh, she is glorious. As is the lemon meringue baptisia and the penstemon. Now, y'all, I don't remember if this is rose rhinestones or pink pearls. I don't remember, but it's one of those two from Proven Winners. This is one plant. Look at that. Love the penstemons, and look at lemon meringue. She still has a lot of buds to go through, but she is beautiful. Now, poor lemon meringue, she took a hit last year because if you remember, at the end of the summer, we were doing construction on this, the whole terrace garden and building this. She did not get moved. And when we were building the terrace garden and the patio up here with the garden boxes, trying to figure out what the distance was, how big we're going to make it, I said, I don't care how deep you go, but lemon meringue cannot get moved. She has to stay there because baptisias have really long, deep tap roots, so they don't transplant well. And she has been here since the inception of the cottage garden. And I said, whatever we do, we're going to work around her. which we did. She came back. She's beautiful. She's not as gorgeous as she has been in the past, simply I think because of all the construction. She took a beating last year, and so while she looks great, next year I anticipate her looking even better. The Amsonia is blooming. This is the classic Amsonia hubrichtii. It is just that great native, non-branded. Love this one. It gets nice and big and is that thread leaf foliage to it. So it is an early spring bloomer now, right? It's actually kind of starting to go to the end. Brenda, there's nothing under there, sugar. Kind of going to the end of the bloom cycle. So once it finishes blooming, I'll actually cut it back by half because otherwise they can get a little floppy. And so to keep it nice and tight, we go ahead and just cut it back, and then it gets nice and tight. And it has gorgeous fall foliage, really bright yellow golden color to it. And then, oh, I tell you, I love how plants have associated with memories and people. This foxglove is from my sweet friend Tina. She gave me a couple of them. I have 2. I planted 3. I lost one over the winter time. But look at this. Oh my gosh. So Tina, they're doing great. Look at that. Beautiful. So the rains are continuing. The rains have started, y'all, but that's all right. We're going to go through it. The camera's waterproof. I'm waterproof. We're just going to go for it. Another lemon meringue right here. She too took a beating, not nearly as severe as the one over there. But yeah, if you have baptisias or see a baptisia, grab them. Speaking of, we have got Blueberry Sunday. I think that's right. I'm going to show you here in just a second, but look at Webmaster. Webmaster is that great spiderwort. It is new from Proven Winners. Planted it. It is not a crazy one as far as, you know, spreading. So that is fantastic. Okay, I'm going to see if I can find an umbrella. All right, my friends, no umbrella. We're just going to go for it. All right. So the Blueberry Sunday Baptisia is pouring. Oh my gosh, everything is doing great. It looks lovely. Look at that, landscape lighting's on and everything. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. Sweet Thing's bringing me an umbrella. So we had the umbrellas in the at the nursery for everybody to use. So I called him, I was like, hey Shug, can you bring me an umbrella? He said, sure I can. So that way we can continue our tour. Look at that Sweet Thing. He's just about as wet as I am.
The biggest one.
That's okay.
Gave up all the other ones to the customers.
That's okay. I just need a little something so I don't get soaking wet. All right. Thank you. All right. We shall continue. There we go. Okay. Nothing can stop a good garden tour, my friends. Okay, so Dianthus is blooming. Love that. Everything is just coming along so nicely. The Generous Gardener has just started opening up in the last day or so. Y'all, I'm telling you, when I say Generous Gardener is generous, she is so generous, not only in her blooms, but her growth, her fragrance. Lovely. Have actually 2 of them, you know, one on each side is planted. And it's been here since we did the patio, so I'm going to say 5 years, 6 years, maybe. I'd have to go back and look, but absolutely prolific and doing well as we go through. All right, so you can see also Roald Dahl. Oh, y'all, absolutely covered in flowers. Remember, we planted, there's 3 in that clump, and then we planted 6 more to have a massive hedge. It's going to take a minute for those guys to catch up, but can you imagine when those are all in bloom and nice and big? That whole area will just be filled in, doing great. And then the Globe Master Alliums. Do you not love this combination? I do. Just absolutely gorgeous, huge. Hence the name Globe Master. So we had these at the Signature Garden, and I had had a good little number of bulbs left, so I planted them here, and they are doing great. I'm gonna love that they go in front of that Roald Dahl and just be gorgeous. I have another Baptisia here. This is that Vanilla Cream, nice, soft, pale, white, hint a little bit of yellow. works really nicely with Generous Gardener right there. And then over here, another At Last, or a rose, At Last rose from David, Proven Winners, of course. So At Last is a beautiful, fragrant shrub rose. She does really well in a pot. Just does a great job of growing. So happy. But see how healthy the foliage is on these roses compared to the red rose? Doesn't have the black spot on it. Gorgeous. And then I snagged some of the Fairy Trail Fresco hydrangeas. These are those trailing hydrangeas and have actual some beautiful color on them. Put them in the urns right here. And so they too are beginning to bloom. All right, let's go back out of here. And then let's head and look at that. Oh, isn't it beautiful? So lovely. All right, continuing on to the back patio where more roses are in bloom. Oh, we got this 9-bark. So don't ask me what kind of 9-bark this is. I don't know, y'all. This was, my mama gave it to me years ago. It's doing really, really well. And you can just see the color difference though between this one and that, the Winecraft, and beautiful flowers. Love it. All right, here we go. Back. Oh, look who's blooming. She opened up Elizabeth. So that Elizabeth rose from David Alston. Look at that. One of the newer varieties named after Queen Elizabeth. Just beautiful. Gertrude Jekyll, she was the first to bloom, so she's going a little bit on her end of her bloom cycle, especially after this rain. Probably need to come in here and do some deadheading. But Gertrude Jekyll is one that smells divine. It's probably Jerry's favorite one. Next, I would say this and Princess Anne are his favorites. And then here we go with the Sceptered Isle. Look at that. Such a beautiful, soft, pale pink. Probably my least favorite fragrance on it because it is more of a myrrh fragrance than that classic old rose. Definitely I am a classic old rose fragrance kind of girl. And so one that does have that classic old rose fragrance is Desdemona. And Desdemona, she too was one of the earlier bloomers, but look at that. Look at all those petals on the ground. Just fantastic. Love the fragrance on her. Gorgeous. And then coming on down here, we have the Julia Child rose. And so our Emily says that this is her rose because she did save it. And so it too is a standard. And look at that. Of course, Julia Child, known for her love of butter. And this has that beautiful yellow, covered in buds. She is just beginning to open up. The peonies, oh, love the peonies. And then we have the Itos. So the Itos over here are blooming, and I was right the other day. We do have Bartzella. Look at this, y'all. Massive blooms. Huge. I mean, those things are probably 8 inches wide. Massive blooms on it. So we have the Bartzella. We have the Julia Rose, who's doing very well, and then the Scarlet Heaven. And so Scarlet, obviously, nice, deep, deep red, gorgeous. All right, give me a second. Let's see. There we go. All right, so given the fact that it is absolutely pouring down rain, we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up. But I filmed this in 2 different spots, so we're not done yet. You're going to go over to the Signature Garden and see the new bed that we just put in. But I filmed that first because the nursery is open. And so I wanted to kind of get over there before we got filled with customers. So I filmed this in reverse. So it's not raining over there. But stay tuned. The video is going to keep going. But I'm signing off right now because it's pouring down rain. So y'all have fun over the Signature Garden. We'll see you in the next video. All right, my friends, so here we are at the signature garden. Remember, we were over here just a couple of days ago, and I was telling you about the construction we were doing and all the work that was going to be done. And so today we're going to show you the grand reveal. It does look really amazing. So the area that we were focusing on is what we call the nook. So it's this little indention in the grassy field right here. Signature Garden's right over there, the formal part of the Signature Garden. This is still part of the Proven Winner Signature Garden here at Creekside. Open to the public when we are open Wednesdays through Saturdays, 9 to 3. Come walk through, right? Because this space is meant to be an inspiration for you to see plants growing here in North Carolina in Zone 8A, to see how they're doing, to get some design ideas. And even if you just find one plant that you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, I want to add it to my garden, then our job here has been a success. So let me just flip it around here. If you remember last year, we had the nook planted with that Senorita Blanca Cleome, and it was such a huge hit. Like, it just did amazing. We went ahead and brought that back, and we're doing it again. So clearly you can see, right? So there's the greenhouse, the formal signature garden, the fountain, all the things. And then we have this little nook. I love this area. It's where we hold our signature experience, the opening ceremonies, and all the talking and all the fun workshops are here. And so having that Senorita Blanca Cleome just planted all the way around, right? And so what we did is we planted this section in, there's 3 of them. So there's 3 grande containers in a clump. It looks like really there's like 1 large one, but there are 3 in there. And then we spaced them probably about like 2 feet apart, kind of window paned them in here. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, they're going to be fabulous. Remember in the end of the season last year, like I was standing just like right over there. We did a video and I'm standing in the Cleome, and it is nearly as tall as I am. It thrives here. It loves it. If you're looking for a low maintenance plant, high performing, bugs don't like it, critters don't seem to touch it, at least here they don't, but your good critters, your pollinators love it. It's thornless, it's seedless, it doesn't have that kind of odor sometimes that Cleome has. Oh, can you tell I love the Senorita Cleomes? They are fantastic. And so in the future, our future plans, to give you an idea here, we'll do that this fall, is we're going to plant this nook where the Cleome is, probably more towards on kind of the back side. We'll still leave a front section where we can put some annuals, but really like wrapping around right here, we're going to do a double row of the Incredible hydrangeas. It is so funny. So our oldest Emily, who is, she's 20, and so she's already thinking ahead to her wedding. She says she's going to have her wedding here, and she wants to have a huge Incredible hydrangea hedge right here blooming. So I'm assuming we're going to get married here, or we're going to do something right here. And so she was like, when we told her we were planting the Blanca, she was like, did you plant my Incredibles? Have they been planted yet? We got to get them in the ground, Mama. And I was like, sugar, okay, we're going to do it this fall because it'll be better to plant them in the fall. This is not on irrigation. So we're going to do it this fall. We'll do a double hedge. So Em, your Incredibles are coming for that future wedding, whenever that may be. So this year what we did is not only did we have the Blanca coming around, because last year it kind of stopped about right here. During Helene, we lost a massive poplar tree, kind of just to the left of the Aphrodite Calycanthus, and it was huge. So almost, if you can see this poplar, it was that kind of size. It was massive. Thankfully, it fell away from the garden, but we had this huge hole, but we also get more sun here, so that's good. So what we did is the Aphrodite Calycanthus, the sweet shrub, was already here. She narrowly escaped destruction from that tree falling. So that has been here, but what we did is we added the Winecraft Black Smoke Bush, because Oh my gosh, I love the smoke bushes, and this brings a whole nother color to the area. It is, they're very soft, the petals on here, and then you can see that it is these little tiny blooms, and then it will get that smoke bush plume look to it. Basically, this is going to be a 6x6, and I love having this here because we have the Midnight Express tree over here. It's a red bud, so that black kind of, they mimic, balance each other out as far as the color. So we have that, and then we continued the Cleome all the way through the back. So that's that continuous stream ribbon of that same plant. Be nice and tall, in that 3.5 to 4 foot range with that Cleome. And then we came through and we did some pockets of the Plan the Blues salvia. So we have a pocket here. Then we have another pocket on the other side of the Aphrodite, just right over here. Again, trying to give it some balance. And then we came through with the Sun Patience, and this is the orchid. So a nice, soft little lavender, lilac orchid, light purple. And so the Sun Patience, again, do really well here. And you kind of see that it was, you know, kind of thin, little thinner, nice and thick through here. So this will all fill in and just do absolutely lovely. And then we added the Rock Steady Vitex. So that's what this is right here. Think of it as being like a small tree. It'll have that look, if you're familiar with crepe myrtles, kind of that multi-trunk. I think it's like a 10 to 12 tall, 6 feet wide in those areas. And so Vitexes are great. Think of them as, like, in my brain at least, it reminds me of like a butterfly bush tree because it has those nice lavender lilac colors, hence why we went with these Sun Patience. And it has kind of that resemblance of a butterfly bush bloom on it. Rock Steady is relatively new from Proven Winners. It blooms longer than your traditional Vitex. Massive pollinator attractor, loves the heat, and it's a fast grower. So we had these in 3 gallons. Both this and the smoke bush were 3 gallons we have at the nursery. I kind of rated the stock, and so we put one here. So I'm loving it. Back to the Aphrodite, we didn't talk about this. This is a great shrub, y'all, and she is covered in buds. So this will do a really pretty, like, deep red flower on it. It's a great native plant. It grows fast. It is just lovely. Absolutely fantastic. So we have that. And then what we did is we have, and I can hear you right now, we had 15 Tough Stuff hydrangeas that we have had for several years. They've been hanging out in, like, most of them were 2-gallon containers. We grew these. They were hanging out forever. We're like, we have got to use these. So, you know, seeing my mama's Tough Stuff hydrangeas, I was like, yep, that is what we're going to do. So we planted them all together en masse here underneath the Midnight Express and kind of wrapping around. Y'all, they should be stunning. And basically we planted them, some of them, I mean, are kind of close to each other, but the idea is that it's going to be one mass hedge of that Tough Stuff hydrangea. It's a great serrata hydrangea, a mountain hydrangea. It is a lace cap, pH dependent, so you'll get those pinks, blues, purples, all those beautiful colors on it. And y'all, they are covered in buds. All of them have buds all over them. So super, super excited about that. But continuing to see how the Cleome comes in the back will be a beautiful backdrop for these hydrangeas. And then we had some fun here in front of the Midnight Express. We did like a diamond arrow pattern, whatever you want, triangle pattern, the Color Blaze Mini Me Chartreuse. Idea again is that these are going to grow and it's going to be one mass group. You're going to see this just huge pop of this chartreuse color. Of course, the mini-me's are those new petite coleus from Proven Winners, basically like 12 to 14 inches tall. Last year, because this is the brand new one for this year, when we trialed them at the end of the season, they looked like a little mini shrub. They were fabulous. And then we paired, of course, the double up pink begonias on each side. Love these begonias because they'll do sun or shade, just like the coleus. Nice mounded habit to them. Once all of this stuff gets established, so as long as we're kind of aware of this for the next 2 to 3 weeks and making sure that they get water on them, really, those roots get established, then they're going to be grand. They're very drought tolerant, can handle the heat, humidity, all the things that life throws at them, and then they will be great. Of course, we'll have to watch the hydrangeas, the vitex, and the smoke bush, right? Because those are the shrubs, and really, the first year, keep them alive. That's what I tell people. Your first year, keep them alive, especially during the heat of the summer. Typically when those rains stop, you want to make sure that they get at least a good deep watering once a week. This will be pretty good because this gets filtered sun. It is a cloudy day here, but it's interesting because it gets plenty of sun. So the cleome and the salvias and those annuals will get lots of blooms on them and get good growth, but this area does not fry. I certainly have areas where things fry, but this gets a good kind of filtered sun, full sun, then shade, kind of goes back and forth. So it does really, really well. But yes, so those are some of the things that are in bloom right now. We did not plant anything within the signature garden the other day. This took up our entire day. It was myself, Jerry, Cece, and Jackson. So this was a whole day event, getting the land prepped, planted, mulched, all the things, but man, we are super excited about it. And yeah, so we'll get back into the signature garden and get those other beds planted ASAP, as soon as possible. But if you come to the nursery, yeah, come on back here, take a walk, take a look at everything. We would love for you to kind of explore back here. That is what this is for. So as always, if you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.